Hello and welcome back to my part two to if Ron DeSantis was the Republicans' 2024 nominee. Yesterday I did him versus Joe Biden, and today I'm doing him versus Kamala Harris, which I think is also one of the most likely scenarios for 2024. And I still have the cold, so if I cough or whatever, I'm sorry, but that time of year where I live, allergies, cold. So with that, we're gonna color in all the safe states for Ron DeSantis, all these plains, Nebraska, except the second district. Head down to the deep south, go up to Appalachia, and I think Ohio and Iowa would actually be safe in this scenario because Kamala does not have the working class appeal that Joe Biden does. And then we'll color in all the safe states for Kamala Harris, all the northeastern ones, New York, and I think that's it. So we have a 180 to 145 matchup right here between Kamala and Ron DeSantis right off the bat. And I do think that Ron DeSantis is against Kamala, unlike yesterday. I had people say, against Joe Biden. I had Biden beating DeSantis. Sorry if you haven't watched that, I did kind of spoil it. But I think that Kamala is not as electable as Ron DeSantis, which you're about to see. So do keep that in mind. But with that, here we go into the video. Oh, I forgot to color in Alaska for DeSantis. That's my bad. So then 180 to 148 we start off with. We're going to color in the likely states now. I think the likely states will be Texas, Florida, and Nebraska. Nebraska second and Maine second for DeSantis. I mean, Texas, it's Texas. Florida, I think, could be lean, but with Kamala as the president and DeSantis being from there, I think it would be likely, probably about 5 points, just because the Cuban vote probably would be, if the Republicans play their cards right, will will not vote for Kamala. Nebraska second, they're going to gerrymander it, so it's going to be Republican anyways, but I think it would be by a likely margin. And Maine second, probably about the same it would for Trump. And so with that, we're going to have the likely states for Kamala. I think would be have Virginia and Colorado. And that's it. The likely states for Kamala. Maine's first district and Maine at large will be likely. So you have a 220 to 206 Ron DeSantis lead. These are all the states that I think would be the closest. I think DeSantis would win. Wisconsin by a lean. Michigan by a tilt. Pennsylvania by a lean. North Carolina by a lean. Georgia by a tilt. Because Kamala will get the Atlanta inner city out, but everywhere else in the state would probably go to DeSantis. This would be the last time Georgia goes red, though, for sure in this scenario. But Kamala would win in Minnesota, New Mexico by a lean, Minnesota probably by a lean as well, and New Hampshire, I'm on the fence about. We'll get to that in a second. Then over here, Nevada, the DSA is gonna run all those ads about. I'm assuming they're gonna promote Kamala as some sort of socialist, and with the 2022 Senate election, a lot of people might not like the Democrats. So I think DeSantis will win Nevada by a lean margin, probably a tilt. And Arizona, probably same as a tilt. Like I said, Kamala is just not as electable as Biden in a lot of these suburban areas. And then it leaves us with New Hampshire. I think Kamala would win New Hampshire probably by a tilt margin, maybe a lean, but it does hate incumbents, so I could see Kamala being as kind of the incumbent going. I don't know, though. I think it still would go to Kamala by a tilt margin. And so with that, we have Ron DeSantis with 313 electoral votes to Kamala Harris is 225. I do think that, obviously, Ron DeSantis would beat Kamala by a pretty decent margin. We're going to, in Nevada, like I said, the DSA is probably going to get a lot of people. I think that's what it's called. If it's not, someone correct me in the comments, but the people who took over the Democratic Party in Nevada, they definitely would leave some people with a bad image of the Democrats, and with the Hispanic trends, would definitely put Nevada tilt red. Arizona, I think it's going to be a swing state. The national environment would definitely influence it. It could go blue, depending on how many people from California and other states move in, but I think it would go red. Texas, I think their Democrats are kind of maxing out in a lot of these places. Will it go blue eventually? Yeah, but probably not for another 20, 30 years. Maybe a little less. Maybe on the local level it could go blue, like a governor, senate, but presidentially I don't think it'll go blue for a little while. Florida, I kind of talked about that. Cubans, and the rural turnout's going to be maxed. And then suburban is also going to kind of move away from Kamala. And Hispanic trends as well. Florida is in pretty good shape for DeSantis. Georgia would be interesting. I could see Kamala winning in Georgia, but I feel like she wouldn't do as well like the suburban, like college-educated whites in Atlanta. I know there's not as many as people. They're not the biggest voter margin, but they would be enough to send it into tilt Republican. North Carolina, it's just gonna stay red. It's I don't. It's just gonna be one of those states that just is not solid, but it's gonna kind of be red unless something crazy changes. Wisconsin, it's been going red for a while. Not sure what else you can say. Michigan, it wouldn't be. It'd be much closer than Pennsylvania and Wisconsin because of the Detroit metro area. But I do think Ron DeSantis would win it, similar to how Trump did. Pennsylvania, Ron DeSantis, Kamala would not do as good with the white working class suburban Philadelphia, like Scranton area, as Joe Biden did, and he would also do much better in the Pittsburgh suburbs. So with that, I think Pennsylvania would definitely go to DeSantis. And then New Hampshire, like I said, it hates incumbents, but I just feel DeSantis isn't exactly libertarian, and I just don't think he would win New Hampshire. And then Minnesota, it'd get closer, but Kamala would still win it. Minneapolis suburbs. New Mexico would get closer because of the Hispanic trends, and depending on how it goes in New Mexico's second district, I believe, tomorrow or today, it could get closer. I could maybe put it in the tilt, but I think it would still be lean for now. And then Virginia, it's just it's Democrat. it's it's almost a lost cause. But yeah, this is my Kamala Harris versus Ron DeSantis 2024 election prediction. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one.